If you are watching this sewing tutorial, it means you already know how to draft the shawl collar jacket, and if you do not know how to draft it, do not worry. I've already uploaded a detailed tutorial on how to draft the shawl collar jacket, so do well to watch it and then come back to watch the sewing video. Hello love, welcome back to my channel. This is Sew with Oma. If you're watching my video for the first time, thank you. Do not forget to subscribe. Without wasting much time, let's dive into today's video. Like I said earlier, we've already drafted the pattern for the shawl collar jacket or the roll collar jacket, and so what I want to do here now is just to add my shoulder dart. That is dependent on you if you'd like to add that, but me personally, I'd like to add the shoulder dart because it just gives it a more unique, professional and corporate look. The first thing you're going to do is just to use your tape rule to get your shoulder measurement. Once you get it, you're just going to divide it by 2, make a point there, and so you're just going to use your straight ruler to connect to your bust point like so. After that is done, the next thing you're doing is to cut out. You're going to do the same thing for your back as well. You're going to measure your shoulder using your tape and then folding your tape into 2 to give you an equal half. You're going to mark a point there and then use your straight ruler to just connect to the other dart. After that is done, the next thing you're just going to do is to cut out like so. To make the shawl jacket, I used an Ankara, that's the African print, and I also will be using a plain fabric, that's the doll face. If you're here in Nigeria, it's called the doll face, so you can always get it in fabric stores or in the market where they sell fabric. So the next thing I did was just to place my pattern paper on my Ankara. I placed my African print fabric on fold before placing my pattern paper on it. Ensure you're using a pin to pin the pattern paper to the fabric so that it doesn't move from the exact position. So the next thing I did was to ensure that I gave allowance, so I did not cut exactly from what I have on the pattern paper. I gave half an inch allowance, and then on the side, that's the side back, I left about 1 inch allowance. This is the back pattern paper. For the front, I'll be using the Ankara print. After placing the pattern paper, ensure you cut out, adding half an inch on all sides of the fabric and then 1 inch on the side front of the fabric. For the center front, I'll be using the plain fabric, that's a doll face. The next thing I did was just to cut out on all sides. You're going to be adding half of an inch for allowance, seam allowance, and then on the side front I added 1 inch for seam allowance. For clarity, I'm going to be writing the front, that's the center front, and the side front, as well as the center back and the side back. For the center front, I used the doll face, that's a plain fabric, and the Ankara as well. For me, I want the doll face, which is a black plain material, to come out on the collar. You can use any color of choice to achieve this. And then for the other pieces, I just used a regular lining. Now we're going to start with the placing of all the pieces, and so I'll be starting with my back piece, arranging the center piece and the side piece together. After arranging all the pieces together, the next thing I want to do now is placement so that we can start sewing. So the next thing I did was to place the center back on the side back together, and then I pinned it like so. I want to ensure that the front of the center back is directly facing the front of the side back. So just watch what I'm doing, you're going to understand it. So whatever you do for the fabric, you're going to do the same thing also on the lining. Okay, so the way you arrange the Ankara, that's how you're going to arrange and pin the lining. After that is done, you're going to take it to your machine now and sew on the part that you have pinned. For the front jacket, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to place our center front and our side back together, right side facing right side, and we're going to pin down and sew. Also, don't forget to do the same thing for your lining as well. After you're done joining the pieces together for the back, the next thing you're going to do now is to join the zipper area. As soon as you're done joining the zipper area, the next thing we're going to do now is to start with the front. And so at the front, after joining the pieces of the front together, the next thing we want to do now is to sew down our back collar like so. Once you're done joining the back collar, this is what it's going to look like when you open it. The next thing to do now is to get your back pieces and place it on your back collar joining. So you want to get the midpoint of your back neck, that's the joining, the zipper joining, and also the midpoint of your back collar joining. You're going to pin all of this round till you get to your shoulder point, and then after pinning, you're going to sew down like so. When you watch the video, you're going to understand what I'm trying to illustrate. Remember that whatever I do for the Ankara, that's the African print, you will do the same thing for the lining as well. So this is what we're trying to achieve after joining the back neck and the back collar together. So this is what it's going to look like. I'm sure by now you're beginning to understand what we've been trying to do. And if you follow the steps, you're going to also understand it better just by attempting the same thing that we're doing in this video. As soon as I was done joining the back neck and the back collar together, the next thing I did was just to join our shoulder together. So I'm joining the back shoulder and the front shoulder together, right side facing right side. Okay, you're also going to do this for the lining, so ensure that everything you do for the Ankara, you're doing the same thing for the lining. Okay, don't forget to also pin down so that you can get a good or professional outcome. Okay, so ensure that you pin down your shoulder to shoulder. Do the same thing for the other side of the shoulder. So I'm just using one of the shoulder as an example. So you're going to pin two of the shoulders. Do the same thing as well for the lining. After joining the shoulders together, this is what it will look like. As you can see, our jacket is already coming together. You can already see that it is looking like our shawl jacket. The next thing we're going to do now is to join our Ankara to our lining. So what I'm doing right now is to join the midpoint of our collar, as you see me doing. I'm just going to pin that down and take it all the way down to the front length. After that is done, you're going to sew like so, just the way you see me illustrating in the video. As soon as I was done sewing, the next thing I did was to join the sides, and I'm going to be doing it lining to lining, fabric to fabric. Okay, we want to have like an inbuilt sewing so that when you turn the back of the jacket, it's going to be very neat. Okay, so we're going to start with the fabric, that's the Ankara. We're going to join the front side and the back side together, right side facing right side, and you're going to do it for the other side as well. For the lining, you're going to place it that way also, right side facing right side of the lining, and so you're going to sew down like so. After joining all the sides, lining to lining, fabric to fabric, this is what it looks like. And so the next thing we're going to do now is to flip it over to the right side. You want to give this a very good press, like a very good press. Okay, this will help all the lines come out, and anywhere that needs to stay put would stay put. Okay, if you noticed, I did not gum on my fabric, but you can decide to gum using stay or paper stay. Okay, you can as well decide to gum both the fabric and the lining together, so it's going to give it a more professional look, a more professional finishing. So this is just a tutorial. If you want to make yours, you can, go the extra mile to do extravagant things by gumming, stay or paper stay. The next thing you're going to do now is just fix your sleeve, and you can fix any sleeve of your choice. You can fix a flared sleeve, a suit sleeve, like a long sleeve. You can fix a 3/4, like a short sleeve. You can fix any kind of sleeves at this moment. There was no light as when I was making this tutorial, and I could not press mine, but ensure you give yours a good press. You can see that it's already coming out and forming the shawl jacket or the shawl collar jacket. Okay, this can be called a roll collar jacket or a shawl collar jacket. It is usually collared together, so it's not like you cut a different collar and attach it. They're all together. Okay, and that's why it's called a shawl collar jacket, because it comes from the back to the front and they're all together. Okay, I hope you learned one or two, and basically this is what it is here. The next thing and the final thing after fixing your sleeve is just to sew on your length. That's to close the length, and then you have it. Okay, you can make yours longer, you can make yours as a crop jacket. Any length of choice is perfect. Okay, so that's just what it is. You just flip over, ensuring the right side of your lining is facing the right side of the fabric. Okay, and then you join, closing the length or the hem. This brings us to the end of this sewing tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. This is Sew with Oma. On this channel we bring sewing tutorial videos, pattern drafting, fashion, business, anything and everything related to fashion basically. If you found this video interesting, do not forget to subscribe, like, leave a comment in the comment section. Also, do not forget to share it to as many people. I'll also be waiting to see your own shawl collar jacket. Okay, till we see in our next video. Bye.